All I talk is crack, I can get the brick out. Yeah, it's crazy reminiscing every decision I made. Yeah, I was fucked up. I put in the work and never, no nigga can ever just say that I looked up. Yeah, I feel like the hottest nigga out the south. All these pussy niggas need to put on the block. Ain't shooting no one, boy, I'm snatching your life, but I'm putting some work. What a hell of a life. Don't fuck with a young nigga looking for skirts. Not fuck with these niggas no more. Half of these niggas be bitch made. Ain't no discussion, yeah, they know I'ma get paid. I was taught never before, never hate on nobody. Yeah, I got grenade. I was just up and found all the fuck niggas. Diamonds above the rim. He don't wanna be baller. Kick his ass up out the gym. Get to the bed, never start with your hustle. Slide out, never trust niggas. All I talk is crack, I can get the brick out. I put in the work and never no nigga.
Thank God for crack. Cook up the crack, watch him eat it up. I got grenade.
You can never just say that I looked up.
Thank God for crack. Cook up the crack, watch him eat it up. I got grenade.
Can never, no nigga can never just say that I looked up.
For educational purposes only. Please respect the views and opinions of this channel. All accusations and or opinions are alleged on this channel. All names are alleged, obtained from public social media websites. Please respect the channel and its channel holders. And again, all names, accusations are alleged. Thank you.
Thank those things for your support.
All I talk is crack, I can get the brick out. Just say that I looked up.
Hello world, Crack back with another pack. Okay, today we're gonna take it back. When we first came to YouTube, we started off with FBG Duck, and we're gonna revisit that because I think we found some new evidence or some new leads that could help Mama Duck out. Shout out to Mama Duck. Her and my wife have a relationship. They used to talk a lot. But before I get started, I want to say rest in peace to all three of Mama Duck's children she lost. Mama Duck has been through a lot, and sometimes it takes other people to help out or just keep digging, and maybe they can come up with something to help an individual like Mama Duck that may just not have the strength or just don't feel like doing nothing like that. Because I mean, I know if I was in that position, I just wouldn't want to continue to dig for things of that nature. I would hope that somebody will reach out and try to help me. So this is us reaching out and trying to help you, Mama Duck. We're going to dive into this video, but before we do that, I want to again say rest in peace to the three children that you lost, Mama Duck. And I'm going to play some of the Vlad interview with Vlad and Mama Duck so we can get a little caught up on her side. And it's very important to hear her side because she's the closest to him. So if she got any leads or anything from the police, she was going to tell it straight. This is her child. So we have to listen to what she says and not anybody else. So I'm going to play some of those clips first. Then we're going to get into what we think we found. And the reason why we're bringing this back up is because of the new video that was released from the day Duck was murdered. I want everybody to pay attention and listen very close, please, because this is important that you listen to everything that's being said. And then I'm going to line it all up so it makes perfect sense to everybody. So bear with us and listen close, please. All right, we're going to get into it. It's going to be a couple short clips just to bring us back to speed, and then we're going to get into it. So let's do that now.
From the CBS 2 Broadcast Center, this is CBS 2 News right now.
Video only on 2. Gunfire in the Gold Coast. A Chicago rapper shot to death just steps away from the Mag Mile. CBS 2's Jermont Terry live tonight at Northwestern Memorial Hospital.
That's where 2 people are recovering from the shooting tonight. Jermont.
Erica and Brad, a man and woman, were seriously injured in this shooting, but their friend, a rising Chicago rapper, did not survive. The bustling shops and shoppers in the Gold Coast caught off guard when chaos broke out on Oak Street off the Mag Mile.
I heard like a machine gun going off.
Howard Gordon happened to be standing outside his convenience store. That's when those shots echoed. His store surveillance captured the horrific sounds.
I knew for sure this was gunshots, but I had no idea where they were coming from.
CPD would later determine someone fired those shots at Chicago rapper FBG Duck, the investigation revealing not one, but 2 cars involved in his shooting.
4 individuals exited those vehicles, 2 from each vehicle, and began firing.
Close to 50 shots fired before the shooters jumped back into their cars, leaving this bloody scene behind.
And I saw a black car going very fast west on Oak Street.
Those bullets killed FBG Duck and also injured this woman who police say was with the rapper along with a 3rd man. The shooting in the Gold Coast left so many baffled.
It was real crazy that would happen right here in this area, out of nowhere. It was quiet and peaceful and shopping going on, then shots rang out.
CPD insisting this was not a random crime. The investigation reveals the gunman waited on the rapper and his friends to exit the store before shooting. The rapper died soon later at Northwestern Hospital. The afternoon shooting shook many, believed so many to realize the city's gun violence has no zip code.
You know, the fact that this is Oak Street doesn't mean that this is a safe haven.
And as of tonight, Chicago police do not have anyone in custody. They're hoping to talk to the 2 people recovering here at Northwestern to help shed some light on the investigation, but they will get some help from the many surveillance cameras that are located in the Gold Coast area. Reporting live outside Northwestern Hospital tonight, Jermont Terry, CBS 2 News.
Thank you, Jermont.
Thank you. I just felt the need to be told because they want to put this negative in the image out about him. And they don't look at the positive stuff, like things that he was planning on doing for his city. He loved his city. He loved Chicago. You understand what I'm saying, Vlad? He loved this city. That man, he was an astonishing man. He grew up from coming from where we come from. He grew up to be an astonishing young man. And I am glad God chose me to be those kids' mothers, man. Justice for my son.
Well, according to reports,
I'm gonna say this, Vlad. The fact that, and this is common sense from any man, the fact that the person that killed my son didn't care of the risk of getting caught. They didn't care. They wanted him that bad. So who would want somebody that it ain't about no song. If that was the case, Expose Me would have been got him killed. I stayed behind Parkway for 3 years. I ain't get so much as a splinter before I moved from over there. So this not about that. This is deeper than that. And I'm going to get to the bottom of it.
Well, according to reports, he was walking down the street with another man and a woman.
No. See, them not the receive. That's not what happened. He was in another store called Milano's, the first store that's located right before Dolce and Gabbana. They were parked on the other side of the street. He was with one young lady. Okay? He went in that store. From the time he left home, my house, we were planning on playing cards, bringing my grandmother's birthday in. The lady who I was just talking about, her birthday was August 5th. We play cards. That's what he do. If you look at all my videos, you don't see me doing nothing but family stuff with my son. He dislocated himself from everybody. If they wasn't related, he didn't have them around him. For the last couple of years, that's how he been moving. Because himself, something that I don't know that he knew made him want to do that. And they gonna tell who paid him. A lot of stuff gonna come out. A lot of stuff. Because that was a hit. Ain't nobody just did that for nothing. You understand what I'm saying? Somebody really wanted him out the way, and they didn't care. They didn't care what it was the cost. They did that. They didn't care about getting caught because they did it in broad daylight. That wasn't a factor to him. They wanted my son gone. They saying he was shot 3 times, Vlad. He was shot over 20 times. Still trying to get off that ground. Still fighting for his life. And they let my son die. The world saw how they did try to help him. They never took that. That did none of that matter to the people that killed him. They just wanted him out the way. He was finna sign a deal with Rap-A-Lot. He was leaving Sony. Yes. He was leaving Sony. Sony chefed him. Sony picked out his song for his album and never released it because they saying another artist was doing more numbers than him. But the minute he died, they want to start dropping songs off the album that they haven't even paid him for. They paid the producers for the song, but we haven't seen anything from that. And they gonna tell who paid them. A lot of stuff gonna come out. A lot of stuff. Because that was a hit. Ain't nobody just did that for nothing. He was finna sign a deal with Rap-A-Lot. He was leaving Sony. Yes.
What's up, guys? Right now, we're going to take a brief intermission. Tell you to subscribe. We're trying to get our subscribers up. We're getting a lot of watch time. People are subscribing, so we want to try to get our subscribers up. And follow us at Audio Crack 22 on all platforms. Thank you.
Thank God for crack. Cook up the crack, watch him eat it up. I got grenade.
Damn, it's really hard to see a mother go through that pain. Just watching the pain just come down her face, and it's just that's just tough. Hold your head again, Mama Duck. Okay, now we're going to get into what's going on. I'm going to play this short video, which is the 11 seconds of the new footage that came out. Now, what I did was I broke the video down like I did back in the Vaughn situation, and I circled some things that an individual just looking at the surface of the video may miss that I caught. And that's what piqued my interest again. And I started doing some digging, and please believe me, we found some things. So let's get into the video, and then we're gonna come back and talk about it. All right, let's get to that now. Okay, as you can see, I have color coordinated arrows around the most important things, and I'm going to explain what those arrows are. Okay, the purple arrows are witness cars or witness vehicles. I mean, are there people in the vehicles? I'm not sure, but those are the vehicles that were all around the incident when it happened. Now, the neon yellow arrows are individuals, people that were witnesses that were around. And as you can see when the video goes, you can tell that the video has been edited because there are people there in some scenes, and then there are people not there anymore, as if they just walked away, but we didn't see them walk away. So that's letting me know that something has been done to this video. Another reason why I know something has been done to the video is because when I broke the frames down and zoomed into the picture, the pixels was all messed up in the picture. So you can basically tell that there was footage that was redacted from that original footage. Now, as you can see in the first frame, we have two vehicles sitting on the street. We have the big FedEx truck, which is across the street, and then we have a silver looking sedan that is close to the gentleman that's on the top filming at the time. Now, in the second frame, you could kind of see the third car in front of the silver car, which is a black vehicle. It's a sedan also. It's not directly, but a little diagonal across from the FedEx truck. And you also see a gentleman with the dark blue and the white lining arrows around him out on the street as the situation is going down. Now in this third frame, you have 2 witnesses across the street with the green arrows around them. One is on one corner and one is on the adjacent corner. We also have what is allegedly the getaway vehicle in the blue arrows with the black outer lining just crossing the intersection. And then you have 4 purple circles, which are the vehicles that could be potential witnesses to the scene. But the most important thing that I want you to pay attention to is the big white arrows with the black outer lining around the gentleman that's in the middle of the intersection. Now, if you look close, as you can see, this man does not have a bicycle at this time as the car goes by, right? Now, when we get to the next frame, still pay attention to the gentleman with the white arrows. You can clearly see he has no bicycle at this time. That's really what I want you to pay attention to, that the gentleman does not have a bicycle at the time, right? Okay, now we're going to go to the next frame. Now we have gained another potential eyewitness with the green arrow across the street. I don't know where they came from. And the getaway car is still speeding off. Now look at the gentleman with the white arrows around him with the black outer lining. He is now on a bicycle, right? Understand, he has on the white shirt or a hoodie. It could be either or. It seems like he has something on his head, but he has a satchel bag around his shoulder, like, you know, like say a female would be wearing her purse, but she wrapped it around her neck. That is the way that he has his bag, right? And he's now also on a bike that magically appears, okay? So stay with me. Now in this next frame, I want you to pay attention to the top of it where the getaway car is gone. You actually see that the second black car is going to start to pull off. Now behind the black car, there's I think it's silver. It looks silver or grayish, but you can only see it. You can barely see it. It seems like it's almost parked in a blind spot, or there's like a tree or something that's kind of blocking the full view of the vehicle, but it's behind the second black vehicle that's taking off now. And also pay attention to across the street, the green arrows. We actually lost an eyewitness, so that's letting me know from there that there's something fishy going on with the footage, because we would have actually seen this person walk away, but we didn't. So now we're down to 2 eyewitnesses on the ground, minus the vehicles. Now I could be reaching, but it kind of looks like the getaway car stopped under the tree up there at the top. As you can see, I kind of tried to take a little snap of that and show you. Now I could be wrong, but I just needed to put that out there because it was bothering me. All right, let's move on. Now, as you can see in this frame, the second black sedan that was behind the getaway vehicle is now leaving the scene. As well as across the street, we just gained back another witness on the ground in the green arrows. Pay attention now. And you can clearly see the satchel-like bag around the gentleman on the bicycle. Pay attention to him because he's very important to this whole situation. Okay, second sedan, black sedan, clearly takes off behind the first one, and the gentleman on the bicycle goes towards where the getaway car came from, as if he's going right back to the scene of the crime, correct? Correct me if I'm wrong now. The next frame, we still have our 2 vehicles. It's actually 3 there, but we can only see 2, the black one and the FedEx truck. Now in the next clip, you see there is a individual on the corner with the green arrow. It's another potential witness as the man kind of goes down the street on his bike. Next frame, same thing. He's just riding, but you can see he kind of didn't go too far, you know, so that's where I know that something is not right with this footage, but it's neither here nor there. Let's move on. Same thing in the next frame, the 2 vehicles and the part of the gentleman. And this is the end of the video, because when you go to the next clip, I believe that's when the gentleman on the bike was riding by. So the man that was up there filming, he didn't want him to see him. So this is where the clip, the video ends, right? So why would you be going towards a scene on a bicycle I'm pretty sure you heard some shots, because that's the reason why the man that came outside, he probably heard the shots, came outside with his phone, like, what's going on? So if you seen the cars smashing by you and you got your magical bike from I don't know where, but we're going to talk about that, because I think I do know where he got his bike from. That's neither here nor there. We're going to get to that in a minute. Why would you go towards the scene? And that brings me to this.
Units in Fort, units in 18 and citywide, getting a person with a gun, 57 East Oak, 57 East Oak, also getting the address of 46 East Oak. Caller states that there was a male black with reflective sunglasses and a black hoodie with a gun who was chasing another male who was last seen running westbound on Oak. The male with the weapon got into a black sedan and was last seen.
Okay, now I know everyone heard that, right? It says a man with a black hoodie was seen chasing another man, and he had on reflective sunglasses, right? Remember, reflective sunglasses, right? So I got to thinking, I was like, what are reflective sunglasses? So it brought me to this. Now, everybody remembers this guy, right? I mean, to me, he's been suspect from the beginning. It was no way that I could prove anything about the gentleman, because it was just weird how he jumped out and he acted like he knew Doug, but he didn't know Doug, and he was just riding his bike. And I thought, riding your bike? And then this video comes out, right? And lo and behold, there's a man on a bike. So I'm like, wait a minute, dude on a bike? I remember somebody saying something about a bike, and then it hit me. So what I did was I went back, pulled the live on the day that Doug was murdered with the gentleman, and I listened to it. And so then what I did was I just did a little digging on him just to make sure that, is this the same dude that was on the bike that we just seen in this new footage? And this is what before we get to what we found, let's go over a couple of the things that was said in the live the day of the incident, so I could show you the reason what made me more curious to dig back into this case and see what I can find because of some of the contradictions that this gentleman said that day. Okay, let's do that now. What's up, guys? Right now we're going to take a brief intermission. Tell you to subscribe. I'm trying to get our subscribers up. Getting a lot of watch time. People aren't subscribing, so we want to try to get our subscribers up. And follow us at Audio Crack 22 on all platforms. Thank you.
Thank God for crack. Cook up the crack, watch him eat it up. I got grenade.
All right.
Why the police didn't come? They already came over here chasing them. They already came over here.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it right there. Now, you heard the lady, right? The lady says she doesn't understand why they didn't come back over here. They was already chasing him, right? Now, I played you the 911 a little earlier saying that a gentleman with reflective glasses was chasing another gentleman, right? Keep that in mind. Now, I'm trying to line this up with the 911 audio and what the witnesses are basically saying, plus with the new video. So bear with me. Now, this lady out here has no reason to lie. You can hear it in her voice that she's nervous, and because of what she's seen. Now, if you think about the 911, someone was already getting chased, correct? By a gentleman with a black hoodie and reflective sunglasses. Now, she must have seen when that situation occurred, because she's very nervous right now by saying what she just saw. And the other gentleman, I'm not sure if it's the gentleman that's filming or is an officer that said you should have told the police. Well, nigga, what? Anyway, so, and then she says, I believe she says something to the sort of, or to the fact that the police was already there or something, right? Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Get in the comments and let me know. I can't really make that out, but it seems to me that she said the police were already there, allegedly. So something right there is not right at all. And then you can tell that whoever spoke kind of wanted to cut her off, and then the gentleman that's doing the live just starts his live just right then and there. Okay, let's move on.
Just throw it down, man. All right. Do what you got to do. I see it. I ain't worried about it. I ain't worried about that. I ain't worried about it. Yeah, I'm good. He the only person that came with some respect, man. Another man, a shooting in the Gold Coast, man, Chicago, y'all. This got to stop, man. Yeah, I'm gonna stay out of trouble, man. I just saw this. I was riding my bike in the Gold Coast.
Now, I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer, but I don't understand why an officer would be telling that gentleman or asking him, is he gonna stay out of trouble? Like as if this dude is a known criminal or something. You know, that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. But that's really not the reason why I stopped it here. I stopped it here because I want you guys to pay attention to this bike. Now, when you go back to the video, you're gonna look at the bike down there. Now, it doesn't look like the color blue. I get that. But what you gotta understand is that the pixels, there are things that's changed in this video. And I'm not gonna say allegedly, because I work with these videos all the time, and if you break down the frames out of the video, then you can tell. If you know, you know. I can't do all that explaining right now. But the bike doesn't look blue at the time. I mean, it doesn't look blue, right? But that's nothing. So the reason why I'm telling you to pay attention to this bike is because there was a piece of the 911 audio that kind of made me feel, at first I wasn't feeling like this gentleman had anything to do with anything, because I'm looking at the bike and I'm like, well, the bike is blue. And then it kind of looked like the bike that he's on, I really can't tell the color of the bike. And you know what I'm saying? So I still did a little more digging, and then I found that 911, and it just made me think. I had to rethink, like, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the 911, part of the 911, and then I'm going to explain how I got this theory that I came up with, so you can understand where I'm coming from with this gentleman. So let's get to that 911 now.
Yeah, over by 33 Stoke, just at the Black Infinity. A couple witnesses told me saw 3 male blacks. Two guys and jumped in the car, but westbound on Oak.
Okay, now you clearly heard the 911 audio when the officer said that the witness said that there were 3 gentlemen, but 2 of them jumped in the vehicle and went west on Oak. Now, don't forget, we still had the gentleman with the reflective glasses that pulled the gun out earlier, right? So I started thinking, I'm like, well, where'd he go? So I went back to, like I said, we're breaking down the video, and I'm looking at the video and I'm saying, okay, that bike looks like a police bike or like a bike you would rent or something. Like, you know how they have the scooters in the city now. So I kind of went up and did a little research, and then I seen what the bike name was, right? But before we get to that, let's finish off with the interview. It's just about 10 to 15 more seconds. It's imperative that you understand why I did the research on the bike. What's the reason that made me say, well, what kind of bike is that? So on and so forth. So we're going to get back to the interview real quick, finish that off, and then we're going to get straight to this bike, and then we're going to get into it. All right, let's do that now.
So I was riding my bike, y'all. I was riding, coming through the Gold Coast on the bike. Next thing you know, next thing you know, I just see somebody laying down. I'm not thinking I know who it is. Next thing you know, I noticed to see it's somebody I know. I done been in the same house with this dude that's laid out here bleeding for his life. Man, and I don't know who the second guy is, but I know he is.
Yeah, you almost messed up, bro. You almost said who that second guy was. But we'll get to that. Okay, what I stopped it for here is because I want you to understand that through this whole interview, I didn't play the whole thing because he was just out there just talking, you know. You guys can go check that out on YouTube if you want to see the whole thing. I just picked out the important parts so that I don't lose you guys with all of the extra stuff and keep you guys focused on what I'm trying to show you guys. So like I was saying, so if you was to go look at the full interview, if you're listening to the full interview, you're going to kind of take like, he doesn't know him. I don't know him. I've never seen him. He doesn't say that verbatim, but you just know conversation. I mean, he's there like, oh man, that's a rapper. Oh man. But then you end up stating that you've been in the same house with him and you know him, right? So now you guys can understand the reason why the digging into the bike and the digging into everything else, as well as the new video, is the reason why we're doing what we're doing today. So now that I realize that this gentleman has some kind of ties or has been in contact with Duck, that's what got me to doing more research. And this is what I found. Okay, this is 26-year-old Patrick Barton. He's from Chicago, Illinois, right? So because he stated he's been in the same house with Duck or been around Duck, I automatically thought music. So I'm just looking through YouTube and I ended up finding this video called Expensive Ties. And it's by a gentleman by the name of SC King Buddha, right? Now, as you can see in the beginning of the video, if I'm not mistaken, that's downtown Chicago, and it kind of looks like it's close to the Gold Coast, right? So I'm just looking at the video, I'm going through, and lo and behold, look who I find. Mr. Patrick Barton. How I found this, that's neither here nor there. Now, as I'm going through this and I see him in there, he actually has the same chain that he had when he was out there, and he actually has the same glasses that he had, right? Now, in my mind, this can't be a coincidence that the beginning of the video, you're showing a small part of downtown Chicago. It's called Expensive Ties, and then you're in it with the same chain and the same glasses. So now I want to know about everybody in the video. So once I started doing my research on everybody in the video, we end up running across this gentleman, Mr. SC King Bone. So I guess they're all in the, whatever the SC means or stands for, they're all in the same group, right? So I'm just going through, just checking them out, seeing what is what. And then I was like, wait a minute. And I remember something that was on the 911 audio, right? I double checked it, went back to the SC King Bones page, and I was right. Now I'm gonna play this 911, and then we're gonna talk about it. All right, let's get to that now.
And we ran that partial plate that was given. It does just come back to a dealer plate from Ed Napleton out of Elmhurst.
Okay, you clearly heard that officer say Ed Napleton paper plates, right? Now look at this gentleman's shirt. This gentleman worked at Ed Napleton in 2019. Now, if he works there currently or was working there at the time, that I don't know. But for them to say that the vehicle had a Ed Napleton paper plate on it, and then this gentleman worked at Ed Napleton, and he's connected to the gentleman that was out with all the antics going live, I mean, that raised red flags for me. So I just kept digging, right? Which brings me back to the bike. And the reason being is because, like I said, if you're looking at that footage, when I put the frames of the pictures up of the video, you see that the gentleman has no bicycle. And then all of a sudden he has a bicycle. So I'm thinking, how did he get a magic bike? On top of the eyewitness stating that there were 3 gentlemen, with 2 of them had black bandanas on, 2 jumped into the black sedan. So where's the other gentleman, right? Then I'm like, okay, there's 1 guy missing, magical bike. So that's where I'm coming up with all of this stuff in my mind, right? So now fast forward, I get back to the bike. Okay, now the bike is called a divvy bike. So I'm like, where do you get a divvy bike from? Got all these symbols and signs on it. And it's a bike that you could rent, right? So I'm like, okay, so where can you rent a bike around there? And lo and behold, there's a Cedar Street divvy bike station. Now, Cedar Street is right around the corner from where all of this goes down. Now, could it have been that the gentleman with the reflective glasses was the 3rd gentleman that was supposed to jump in the car, but he didn't get in the car? So then therefore he went and rented a bike from Divvy and came back around just to make sure that whatever they was trying to accomplish was accomplished? Because there's no reason why you should have ties to this SC Bone gentleman that has ties to Napleton. That an eyewitness said that one of the vehicles had Napleton paper plates on it. So I'm not accusing you, but you need to answer some questions. I'm pretty sure Mama Duck would love to know what's up with you. You know what I'm saying? Because when you was out there on that live, you was all over the place. You was in LA, just got back, moved to LA, then you're here. You act like you don't know Doug, then all of a sudden you've been in the same house with Doug. All I'm saying is, you're fishy. You know what I'm saying? So the first thing that I would do is try to get to that divvy station and try to find out on that day who rented a bike. If this gentleman by the name of Patrick Barton, did he rent a bike that day? And then we can go from there. So that's where I'm at with it. I'm seeing that there's some connections within these individuals and this murder. Now, I know I played this earlier, but it's only a couple seconds. I want to play this, remind you of this, and then we're going to talk about it. All right, let's get to that now.
Units in 18 and citywide, getting a person with a gun. 57 East Oak, 57 East Oak, also getting the address of 46 East Oak. Caller states that there was a male black with reflective sunglasses and a black hoodie with a gun who was chasing another male who was last seen running westbound on Oak.
I'm pretty sure everybody already clearly noticed it by now. I mean, this guy has on the biggest reflective glasses that ever. Now, I know that you'll probably be like, well, he had on a white sweater or a white shirt, and they said it was 3 men with black hoodies. But you got to remember, the man had a whole satchel type bag around him. So, I mean, he could have had an extra sweater. He could have had anything in that bag, a change of clothes to hurry up and just become incognito, like as if he wasn't even there. And then for him to jump on a bike, it would seem like I'm just riding around in the neighborhood. Because if you go back on YouTube and get that video, the full video, he states, I live around here in the beginning of the video. So I don't know about this guy, where he lives, what's he doing, but I know that it's fishy that he has a friend that's in the music industry that worked at Napleton. But if you're still a little confused, or like, man, that's not what he was wearing, let me play this 911 audio. This is from the official 911, Chicago Police Department again. I'm gonna play this audio, then we're gonna come back and talk about it again. And this is I'm playing these audios to let you understand where I'm coming from and coming up with these theories. I'm not just coming out my ass with this. I'm really sitting here thinking about, like, well, if you say this and say that, or do this or do that, and I ended up coming up with something. So I'm gonna play this 911, and then we're gonna come back and talk about it. All right, let's get to it.
And for the units on the scene from 106 East Oak Street, 106 East Oak Street, caller states that she saw a male black wearing a white mask throw something in the dumpster directly after their shooting at the location of 106 East Oak. So if you can check the dumpsters in front of 106 East Oak, offender threw something inside. 1083?
Yeah, did you have something about 106 East Oak? A dumpster? Something about a dumpster?
Yeah, one moment. 101 East Oak, they said they thought they seen someone throw something in a dumpster over there at 101 East Oak.
I mean, that could have been anything. That could have been the black sweater. That could have been the weapon. We don't know what was thrown in there. Remember, a gentleman with reflective glasses chased another gentleman and then ran off. Now, what he did with his sweater, if that's what he had on, if he did with a white mask, if that's what he had on, whatever the case may be, Mr. Barton had several opportunities to get rid of anything that he had on, or anything that he had on his persons. Also, he had a bag. No one ever checked his bag. I mean, he left with no problems, I would assume, because we never heard anything else about the gentleman. So I say all that to say this. No matter what, this gentleman, Mr. Barton, one, has reflective glasses on at the scene. He had them off for a long time, but then at the end of the video, I guess he just thought it was all good and he put them back on. Two, you have a divvy bike with a divvy station directly around the corner from where the incident took place. Three, Mr. Barton is directly tied to a gentleman that worked or works at a dealership that was said over the 911 to have been one of the vehicles fleeing from the crime scene. Four, Mr. Barton is admittedly stated that he knows, well, has been in the same home as FBG Duck. And 5, he is directly connected to the music industry. So out of those 5, for you to be filming out there, it's red flags for me. So, I mean, you guys can do what you will with this information. I'm definitely going to get this to Mama Duck. Well, I have my wife get it to Mama Duck as soon as possible. And then we can go from there. I mean, this gentleman, Mr. Barton, has some things he needs to answer to, because he's connected in too many different ways to this situation or the individual that lost his life that day. So again, I want to say rest in peace to all 3 of Mama Duck's children, and I hope you find peace, Mama Duck. Until next time.
All I talk is crack, I can get the brick out. Yeah, it's crazy reminiscing every decision I made. Yeah, I was fucked up. I put in the work and never, no nigga can ever just say that I looked up. Yeah, I feel like the hottest nigga out the south. All these pussy niggas need to put on the block. Ain't shooting no one, boy, I'm snatching your life, but I'm putting some work. What a hell of a life. Don't fuck with a young nigga looking for skirts. Not fuck with these niggas no more. Half of these niggas be bitch made. Ain't no discussion, yeah, they know I'ma get paid. I was taught never before, never hate on nobody. I got grenade. I was just up and found all the fuck niggas. Diamonds above the rim. He don't wanna be baller. Kick his ass up out the gym. Get to the bed, never start with your hustle. Slide out, never trust nigga.